What's up? My name is Regina, and this is going to be a video, and my baby just fell. This is going to be a video about being a correctional officer while pregnant. And a little backstory, I'm on the floor because my daughter knocked over my ring light, and I decided we're going to do this on the floor now. I had to record this 3 times. But anyways, come here, Nao. Nao, just come here. Just come here. Okay, so anyways, when I was about 4 or 5 months pregnant, I went ahead and went completely public with my pregnancy at my job. And I announced it through IOCs and contacting my lieutenant. I gave the IOCs to HR, and I actually called my lieutenants on the phones while I was already at work, but I would be at a post, and I let them know that I really didn't want to work the floor anymore and that I was pregnant. That's not really how it works. You need a doctor's note. Come here, Nail. You need a doctor's note stating why you're trying to come off the floor and why it's like you need a doctor's note. I didn't have a doctor's note on why I'm coming off the floor at 4 months pregnant. That's not a thing, at least not for me, I guess. So I was on the floor until I was 6 months pregnant. Because my facility doesn't pull you off the floor just because you're pregnant. So I still worked with inmates until 6 months. Well, I worked with inmates the entire pregnancy, but I came off the floor as a rover into when I was 6 months, into 6 months. And so, anyways, like I said, through IOCs. Well, the facility that I was working at, the facility that I am working at, they put me in the mailroom. They put me in the mailroom, so I was going through the mail, reading it, making sure there's nothing inappropriate, and sending it where it's supposed to go. Well, something happened, and I believe a family member had sent something that they weren't supposed to send, and it put all of us in danger. This before COVID, and we were required to wear masks and everything. And this lady, I can't remember what her job was, because I can't remember what her job was, but anyway, she, through the huge meeting, she asked me if I wanted to still be in there, because we had a huge meeting about the stuff that got sent to the facility, because we had to wear masks now, and I was pregnant, so should I, So I didn't feel comfortable, especially if another woman is asking, and I just didn't feel comfortable. I thought I need to go ahead and get pulled out of the mailroom, especially because it was like an opportunity. If she's saying it, then I'm gonna just go, cause I didn't want to have to write another IOC and make it look. So I'll get into that. So anyways, they put me in another room, and it was also a desk job, very minimum inmates, one at a time, most of the time, in that office, and I was in there with about 3 other officers. I was probably in there by myself twice with an inmate, and because I was really only in there being like a secretary, I didn't go to the board to do that particular job, so I could only do paperwork. I wasn't able to really do any of the legal stuff that was going on in there. So anyways, I did that until there was no more work for me to do, because it was like loads of paperwork that needed to be uploaded into the computers, and I did it all. So it was time for me to get up out of there, because I couldn't actually be in there once I was done. So randomly, my paperwork went missing. The IOCs that I wrote, the warden signing off on me coming off the floor, all this stuff went missing. It like never happened. And I don't know what happened, because I don't know if they're used to like real stupid people, or I don't know, and they thought I wasn't gonna like fight for myself and my child, but they were like, oh, we don't have it anymore. But I was like, okay, true, because the lady that had spoke up for me and asked if I wanted to come out the mailroom had quit, and I guess she had took a lot of stuff and deleted a lot of stuff. Cool. But if she deleted something out of her own email, the email that I watched you guys write to the warden, it would still be in the warden's email unless he deleted it too. But either way, you all know I was there when you wrote the email. You wrote it. The way this email was written out for me to come off the floor was on this huge screen. So even though I couldn't actually see what they were writing, I was in the room when they wrote it, you know? But anyways, so yeah. So because that happened, I had to go back downrange. Whatever. At least I was the picket. But they put me in a picket that was a floor picket. So there's different types of pickets. And some housing units, you're up high. The baby just kicked the ring light. So some housing units, you're up really, really high. And then some housing units, you're on the floor, but you're still in a picket. So anyways, they had put me in a housing unit where I was in a picket. Well, whew, at the end of my shift, at the time we were only on 8-hour shifts, a huge fight broke out. And I mean, it was huge. 2 out of 3 of the pods were fighting. So anyways, I remember dealing with that because I didn't get off work until almost 1 in the morning, or it was 1 in the morning. And the fight had broke out at 3 in the afternoon, and I didn't get off till 1 in the morning. And I had been there since 5:45 that morning. So anyways, I remember writing a 2-week notice, because I just felt like I'm pregnant. I don't need to be doing this anymore. Like, this is stupid, and I have a baby at home. Because even though I was in the control booth in the picket that day, there was so much gas in there from all the spray that they had to spray. And plus, what if I had went down to count? Because I did have to count. When you're a picket, you still have to come out of the bubble twice. The bubble, the picket, the control booth, that's all the same thing. So anyways, I put my 2 weeks in. And, oh my God, thank God. About 3 days before my 2 weeks was up, the captain was about to not be the captain anymore. She was going to go into a different position. And she actually just told me, hey, did you just want to come off the floor just because you fear for your safety of your baby or something like that? And I was like, yeah. I was like, as soon as I have her, I mean, I'll go back to the floor. But I said, for real, I'm not even asking to come out of the picket. I mean, to come from downrange. I just want to be only in the picket. I don't want to come down to count because I don't want an inmate to hit me or a door to fly open, inmate to bump into me. I didn't want nothing. I didn't want to smell gas. You know, I wasn't trying to not work downrange. I just didn't want to necessarily have as much inmate contact because it was getting close. I mean, it wasn't that close. I was 5-6 months pregnant-ish. No, I was 6 months at that moment. I was almost 7 months. So then she let me ride with her. When she went to her new position, she let me be her assistant until I had my baby. So again, this isn't normal. There was a bunch of Nail. Stop kicking it. Nail, come here. Oh man, shot this paper. You just over here eating paper. Silly. I didn't realize my this ring light makes you be able to see straight through my shirt. So, yeah, right until I had my baby, she let me be in there. And yeah, so when I was about 9 months, pregnant, my boss, not her, but a different boss, had me escorting inmates orderlies, which are trusted inmates, because we were on a lockdown. I couldn't remember why we were on a lockdown, but we were on a lockdown, and she had me escorting inmates, orderlies, to paint the facility and stuff. And I remember I had to... Oh, wait, I remember what I was saying. So, yeah, but this isn't normal. Me coming off the floor and getting to work and all the places that I was working was not normal. You have to advocate for yourself. You do not come off the floor because you're pregnant. Not at the facility that I'm at. You work. You stay on the floor. You work until you pop. Nail. Yeah, you work until you pop. You know? Or you gotta advocate for yourself. So, but thank God she let me go in there and work with her. And then this other lady had me escorting the orderlies. You know, I still had to have inmate contact, but not in the extent that I had it before. I was working up front with the admin staff and everything, where everybody wear like suits and stuff. That's where I was working. I still had my CO uniform on, but I was getting to work with them. So anyways, I remember one particular time though, when I was 9 months pregnant, I had been away from the inmates so much now. I was only with them every so often. For the most part, I had been, you know, in the mail room, in the legal room, pretty much in the picket, only coming down to count. So by the time I come down, they're already racked up. So I'm only dealing with the orderlies. So I really hadn't gotten cussed out. The inmates really hadn't seen how big I had gotten, because it had been a good 3 months. That, you know. So anyways, because she had me escorting the orderly to paint, we had to go into pods. So now I'm back down range, you know. And the inmates are irritated and agitated because we're on lockdown. So I remember the orderly had needed a box cutter. So I had to carry the box cutter, and then when we would get to the pod, he would tell me, go check all the doors before you take this box, before you give me the box cutter. So I would go check all the doors. So I left the box cutter on the outside of the pod. She just hit her head. And then I would go in, check all the doors, and then I'd go out and grab the box cutter out of the bag. And it was wrapped up in a bunch of whatever. Anyways, whew, that was like a rush, because I would be so scared, because if an inmate got out, I was screwed. I was 9 months pregnant, and now I got a box cutter, and then I'm with this this inmate, and there's still prison politics. I was really nervous, but I couldn't really show it. And I remember finally sitting down on a chair, because you want to sit on a chair. You don't want to sit on their tables. Sit on a chair. And we're sitting down because I was just tired. Like, he had been doing all these tables, and I was tired. He was laying down game boards for the inmates, and for the other inmates. And I remember this one inmate yelled out, "ACO," and I didn't turn my head or nothing. He had called me a bitch. But I remember thinking, like, damn, like, because most of them was like shaking their doors and stuff. And I remember thinking, like, damn, half of them had forgot who I was, because if I didn't, they hadn't seen me in 3 months. Most of the time, if you don't see nobody in that amount of time, they probably got fired or they quit. So some of them, when they actually recognized my face, because we weren't wearing masks back then, Nail, leave my ring light alone. Come here. They were like, "Oh, I thought you got walked off," or, "Oh, I thought you quit," or, "Oh, I thought you been had that baby." You know, they would just say random stuff. But until they knew who I was, they was just cussing me out, acting all crazy and everything. Because for the most part, I was very firm, but I was also very, very, very fair. So I really didn't, and I only did 2 write-ups ever. So they weren't really that rude to me by the time I had got to that point. Now, when I first started, they all hated me because I thought I was a police officer. So I was new. When you first start, you're like extra policey, and you learn. You learn. You don't write as many tickets. You know, you learn other ways of getting them to act right. So, yeah. But yeah. So that was my pregnancy story. I realized I went too far, and now I'm not really gonna be able to tell after having the baby and how it works, but I'll do another video on that. But that was a quick story time on being pregnant at a prison. Very quick. I skipped a lot, and it's already been 14 minutes, and I'm not gonna edit it. So I hope